This is Alex Kane from Life, Sex, and Death and everyone else. You're watching Aftershock TV. This is the only way you should spend your time right now, and you know it.
All right, man. Let's now pivot to our next topic here. So let's get back talking. We were just talking about some albums with Tom. We're gonna bring up an album here that's, man, almost next year will be 30 years old.
All right, this is gonna make me hate.
Oh no, what? Hate what? Hate what?
Hate because I'm so old. I'm gonna remember walking into a store buying it.
I know. Oh, I do remember walking into the store buying this record. Oh, I remember I first heard it because we were talking about one of the last episodes. We were talking about how, those listening stations they used to have, right, at like Tower Records and all these, other, record
Hot
stores
Topic and whatnot. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Which we were saying it was a great way to listen to a record before having to buy it and waste all your money, right? Because we were talking about how it's just, we were all sick of paying $20 for shitty CDs. Now this album is always just a classic to me, basically because it also was the first time I really heard which became my favorite singer of all time, when Burton Bell. That was the first time I heard him. I already knew Fear Factory, but I didn't have at the time D Manufacture. I didn't buy it yet.
To like Fear's.
Well, I had heard basically, when I listened to first heard Fear Factory, I heard the song D Manufacture didn't have the clean vocals. Right, and I was like, that's fucking great. I got to get that eventually, but I didn't get it yet because the albums came out the same year. And I'm talking about Geezer Butler here, GZR's Plastic Planets.
So good.
So fucking good, this album, man. Just go ahead. You Dude, tell me your thing on this.
It's one of the best albums of the 90s.
I agree. I really do.
I mean, I would definitely, I don't know where I would put it, but it would be in the top 10 of all of the 90s. It is so good.
It's so good, man.
It's stunning to me, and maybe it shouldn't be. I should probably look at every musician as an artist and appreciate the fact that they're capable of more than one thing. But that was the big takeaway for me with this album, was how different it was from Black Sabbath.
Absolutely.
And I went into it thinking, well, it's got to sound like Black Sabbath. And it just doesn't. There's nothing. It's nothing like that. It's closer to Fear Factory because of Burton, but it's just an amazing, amazing record. Every song kills. Every single song on it kills.
Not one bad song.
Yep. And not for nothing, but the other album was pretty good too. The one that came out after it, not as good as this.
Black Science, yeah.
Yeah, but Man in the Suitcase and stuff, that was kick-ass too.
Sure, absolutely.
It was like, man, Geezer Butler can write some music when he wants to.
Well, I mean, shit, he, people forget that he did write a lot of those Sabbath songs. He was obviously the lyricist, as everyone knows.
Sure.
But yeah, 1995, it almost 30 years ago. It's obviously didn't just feature obviously Burton Bell on vocals, but Deen Castronovo on drums.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I didn't know who Deen Castronovo was before this record.
Sure.
I didn't know Wild Dogs. I didn't know all his past before that, man. And I remember thinking, like, God, this drummer is fucking kick ass. But I mean, the funniest thing is everything on this album stands out except for the bass, right? Except for because it's a fucking pure 90s metal record.
It is.
And I like you, I was so shocked. I remember, like I said, when I first heard it, I was like, who the fuck is this vocalist, man? Because I didn't hear Burton do the clean singing and the deep, the gothic-y stuff. And man, but I mean the guitar too. So the guitarist Pedro House, I mean, he's Geezer's nephew.
Oh, is that? I never even knew who this guy was. I remember looking, and I could never find anything else that he did.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything else. He's a Butler's nephew, man. And I guess he just got him to be. Now, what's interesting too, vocally, originally Burton wasn't supposed to be the singer. It was supposed to be Devin Townsend was the one that they recruited.
Right.
But he didn't want to do it because he wanted lyrical input because he had none on the Steve Vai record. So he was like, I don't want to do that again. So he didn't do it.
Did he start Strapping Young Lad?
Yeah, it was right at
because
that
of
time.
it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But I think the reason why this record didn't take off is because they never toured for it. I mean, Burton
Yeah.
was with Fear Factory, so he had those obligations. And remember, it came out the same year as D Manufacture when they just exploded, so he couldn't do it. But I mean, if they would have toured for this record, I mean, they did tour for. I did see they toured for Black Science, the second one, a few times, but it was during the Ozfests,
Right?
During the Ozfests, so that was it. But yeah, I mean, great songs from start to finish. One of my favorite songs, "Giving Up the Ghost." I didn't realize it was about. If you listen to the lyrics, it makes a lot of sense. But it was about Tony Iommi still using the Black Sabbath name, and he was pissed off about it. And it's pretty, it's pretty. If you listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh yeah, you can see that. That's what he's getting at there. But yeah, man, I just I love this record, man. I don't think
so good, man. Giving up the, I like Drive Boy Shooting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, I love
Invisible. Yeah.
Invisible. I love just the beginning of it too. The doom 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 doom. It's like,
I love
whoa.
that.
It's like creepy as hell, and all of a sudden it's just like, it's like, whoa.
And that guitar, that crunch, it's just. You're right. I love that. Yeah, Catatonic Eclipse. That's the song. Just from start to finish, like you said, not one bad song. I would say the only song on here that sounds anything like Sabbath is probably the last song. Cycle 60, which is like Planet Caravan. It's got, that kind of, acoustic-y, just kind of dark thing. But yeah, so if anyone hasn't checked this album out, I mean, like you said, no one talks about it. No one talks about this album.
And not for, I'm just on the wiki page right now. I was looking up the track listing real quick. All Music, you deserve a kick in the cunt. They gave it 2.5 stars.
What?
This record? You got to be kidding me. 2.5 stars.
Really?
That's just not even close.
What is that?
To being
All
right.
Music?
All Music, who reviews a lot of different stuff.
Wow.
They review a ton. 2.5 stars. That's just blasphemy.
Well, is that what he called doing that? Ed Rivadavia? Isn't he on All Music?
Ed used to be. I don't know if he reviewed this one or not. I'm looking. Of course, they have like the stupid ad blocker that you can't.
Oh yeah, I see it right here. 2.5. Yo, get the hell out of here!
Get out of here with that. That album is one of the best of the entire era.
I agree, man. I absolutely agree. Yeah, everyone check it out. Plastic Planet.
And it wasn't new metal.
That was definitely not new metal. That was fucking metal as can fucking be.
That
man.
was metal.
Metal, exactly.
I had an interest in music always.
It's always kind of been around me some way, shape, or form.
5 minutes sitting on a drum set, man, change your life.
This is the same black guitar that Marty McFly plays in Back to the Future.
I love the feeling I get in front of the freaking full stack here, just the vibration or something to it.
I'm lucky because I do have a little bit of a tap into the Fu Manchu lore, into the Nebula lore.
In order to keep things going, you kind of have to like start playing the game a little bit, like the business game.
Everybody has to get through a day-to-day, and how do you exist and how do you get by?
As far as getting people to commit to bands, it's tough to keep a lot together these days, for sure.
Still sleeping on people's floor, that's still a reality.
Probably also playing with some of the best people I've ever played with. The creative juices don't stop. It just keeps going.
For me, it's just finding a balance of how much time I'm spending with my family versus how much time I'm spending working.
It's this validation that what you're doing actually has merit.
Obviously, we're a little long in the tooth, and we've been doing this for a minute, and now we can kind of do what we want. We don't need a record company. I'll do it myself. I'll do it the way I want to.
Just always be cool. Just be respectful. Those are your people. They're connecting to you on some level, even if they don't look like you.
It's got to happen, or else I'll go crazy. Go crazy one way or another. I might as well, not go crazy if I can play music.
Maybe one day I'll have a Porsche, but until that day, I'll drive a Chevy.
There you go.
All right.